kind of a beat 'em up I've been playing this week is Dauntless.
Oh.
That's the free-to-play Monster Hunter clone that came out. We mentioned it last week. Came out during, I forgot when they were now. When was it? The Indie Showcase. I can't remember what it's called. Indie World Showcase. So they mentioned on the Indie World Showcase. It's available now. I thought, excellent. A Monster Hunter game. Loved Monster Hunter games in the past. Picked up 3 on the Wii U, 3 on the 3DS, and 4, Monster Hunter 4 on the 3DS as well. Spent a lot of time in them. So I thought, right, let's give this a try. The first thing that hits you, it takes you through like a tutorial level, which is walk down a corridor basically into an open area, fight your first fight. So the tutorial, it doesn't tell you how to do anything basically. It just throws you into an easy fight, get on with it. It's kind of Monster Hunter-esque. And everything looks beautiful, you know. Yes, it's got that Fortnite aesthetic of cel-shaded characters, but the fluidity of the monster and the way he moves, it's like, yes, it's got something from Monster Hunter there. Everything feels alive. There's not too much popping, and the frame rate is pretty, well, because it's only single player at that time, stable. It's very stable. You finish that fight, and so you've learned all the buttons, and basically it's the way the game fights is exactly the same as Monster Hunter. You know, your ZR button is to run, but then you deplete stamina, and then once you stop, your stamina slowly builds back up again. If you've got no stamina, you won't be able to dodge, roll out of the way, or jump. Your attack is on X and Y. Y is your light attack, X is your heavy attack, and then you can link them together for combos. And it feels the same as Monster Hunter, except that with some combos, especially with, you got different weapons as well, which I'll talk about quickly later, but when you link certain combos together, it feels a little bit more hack and slash than Monster Hunter, and you can really rail on enemies, you know, get in there and smash them faster than you could have on Monster Hunter, which is more of a thinking man's, ducking and diving more. Once you finish that tutorial area, you then go through to the hub world. And this is where the shocking thing happens. The frame rate just hits. It's like 10 frames a second in parts. You're running along, and then you'll warp. And as you're walking around the hub world, you can see other hunters from around the world. So there are people online in that hub world as well, running about. And they are just warping all over the place because the game isn't optimized. The frame rate, you know, is jerky. The whole screen is tearing in places. It's the hub world is horrendous. And this is basically where you'll pick up jobs, you go to the blacksmith, and this hub world is bigger than I thought as well. It's not these Monster Hunter hub worlds are quite small, but you get a few of them as you progress the story. This is one central hub world. And there are, it's like a shopping mall, you know, and you've got 6 or 7 different blacksmiths, and different blacksmiths will make different weapons, and one will make your armor, and one will make your sword, and one will make an axe, and one will make the guns called repeaters. So you've got to go and visit all these places, and each of these will give you a mission, and this is where you get XP from. You don't really get XP from beating monsters. You get XP from completing missions that people have set you. Now, it might be beating a monster. It might say, oh, if you can beat this monster and come back here, give me the drops that the monster gives you, I'll give you XP for it. Right, okay. So a lot of them are linked into beating monsters, but other ones might be go collect herbs. So it's kind of teaching you the game by talking to these potion sellers and these blacksmiths. They tell you what you need to do, and then you go out and do it. So it's teaching you the game. This tutorial is still in this hub world as well. Now, apart from that horrendous frame rate, the hub world is it's just too big. And then you realise, oh my god, there's just so much going on. And this is supposed to be Monster Hunter Light, you know? There's just so much going on. Why do you need XP? Because there's a battle pass called the Hunt Pass. And then it's exactly the same as Fortnite, if you can imagine it, Nick. you're just leveling up, getting your XP, or you do this, you do that, right? You get my XP up, you go to the next level, you get a free item. If you paid for the hunt pass with real money, then you can unlock better weapons. And then as you unlock certain levels, you get the currency. The main currency in the game is called platinum, and then it's that platinum which will allow you to buy the next battle pass. I'm on level 3 hunter experience, XP3, and I've got 50 platinum coins, 50 platinum pieces, and you need about 850 to buy the next hunt pass. It mechanically it works the same as all other free to plays like Realm Royale and Fortnite. And then you go into a few fights, and then you realise when you're playing with people and you're fighting, so there's up to 4 hunters at one time, and you all drop in together, you wait for a match. It's quite seamless actually. You can say I want to fight this beast, and then you can drop off and do your shopping, so it's loading the level in the background while you're going to the blacksmiths. Then it'll pop up, hey, let's have a fight. Okay, we go in the fight, select your gear appropriate to what monster you're fighting. Some monsters have weaknesses, like a fire monster. It's better to have an ice sword, etc, etc. All environmental boosts and buffs. And then when you're fighting with other players, there is frame rate issues. And it's obviously not coming from the game so much, it's coming from the online connection. It's not as stable as you would need it to be, and I found that Monster Hunter, it does a far, far better job of putting 4 people together and fighting monsters. It's far from unplayable. It is enjoyable, but problems of frame rates just let it down, It's just, come on, optimize it better. And they promised, like I said last week, Nick, they promised that they would sort the frame rate out. And there we go. It isn't. Shame. It could be a lot better.
So disappointing then, yeah? Overall?
Yeah. I don't even know if I want to go back to it. I thought, right, no, I'm going to stick with it, see if it gets a bit better. There's nothing wrong with the fighting mechanics itself, and it's got some added bonuses of if you build up your extra stamina meter, you press the R button, you can unleash a fury and blitz of attacks. But there are some nice elements in there which Monster Hunter doesn't have, but everything else is just too clunky, too jerky, too frustrating.
Well, I would say remain hopeful, because I think Fortnite was pretty shoddy when it released originally.
It was.
And it has improved over time. It did improve quite quickly, so I guess if they have enough people playing, they'll probably get on it quite quickly. But I told you last week I downloaded this. I got to the Epic Game Store login and just decided, no, not doing this, can't be bothered, so deleted it straight away. And by the sounds of it, I made the right decision. But I've never played Monster Hunter, and I would really, really like to. And everybody says that it's much better with friends and people you know.
It's true. It is true.
So I'm going to wait probably until we get the next Monster Hunter on Switch and jump in when everybody jumps in at the same time.
Sam, are you a Monster Hunter?
Oh yes, most definitely.
I had a feeling you would be. Yeah.
I was going to...
did you try Dauntless?
I was going to say, no, I haven't played Dauntless, but just from how you were describing it, it sounds to me like it's somewhere in between, on kind of ambition level, between Monster Hunter Generations and Monster Hunter World. Because it sounds like they've got the hub world, sounds like similar size to the ones that are in Monster Hunter World, possibly even bigger. Because they've got some huge hub areas. So I've kind of flipped between the two Monster Hunters. I've probably had more enjoyment out of Monster Hunter Generations though, because it's more familiar, more of what I know. But Monster Hunter World has definitely got quite a scope to it. It's brilliant.
I mean, it's I mean, Dauntless is pretty much identical, even in its weapons, the way the weapons work. Instead of a great sword, they got an axe, which is not like a switchblade. It's like a great sword basically, and everything is duplicated in Dauntless. It's just, I don't know, in Monster Hunter, it feels life or death, you know, diving out of the way as a monster comes bashing past you, you know, and this doesn't quite hit that kind of life or death situation, unfortunately. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button and give us a like if you've enjoyed our content. You can also check out our other great content on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and the N-E Café podcast from all good podcast providers. Just follow the links in the description below.